I was walking to yeshiva this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, this is Stam Hazeh, Abisal Musar, that if you look at the Elam Haza honestly, you have to come to one of two conclusions, which are really the same conclusion. Mitzad Echad, the world is falling to pieces. Falling to pieces. Mitzad Hasheni, it's always been falling to pieces. And it stays together. It stays together. It stays together with lies, and with fantasies, and with imaginary things. And this is the koyach of the Eibishter. The Eibishter held sein Welt. The Eibishter holds his world, even though if you look at every little piece of the world, wherever you look, everybody is exhausted, everybody's overworked, and everybody doesn't have enough. I don't only mean money. I mean more important things also. But if you look in the street, everybody's wearing clothes, everyone's smiling, everyone has a life. So what's the pshat? Is the truth the fact that everybody in his mind has daigis and has worries and has concerns? Or is the truth of his life, melept? Now for the individual person, it's a choice. We get to choose to allow ourselves to be defined by our daigis and our ibal lebenish and our nesyonis that are sometimes considerable, or to define ourselves by, the Eibishter keeps it all together. But in the greater world, it's a big miracle. Daily life is one of the greatest miracles of all. But who pays attention to daily miracles? You take a special miracle, but jeden tag is a nes. Every day is a nes. You know, I say this from time to time. One of the greatest miracles in the world is government. Government. Mediniyut. Government. You don't like the mayor, don't like him. You don't like the president, don't like him. But don't not like the institution. Because it's nisan v'neflois. I am an interesting person. To me, one of the greatest miracles in the world, I come outside and my garbage is gone. It's a nes. I put garbage out, a lot of it. Who wants my garbage? And I come the next morning, it's gone. The cans are there, the bit's empty. You don't mind garbage. Happens with the Yom B'Yomei in millions of homes, in thousands of cities, all over the world. Who thinks about it? It's one of those things. Imagine they stopped collecting garbage. Just imagine. We've had garbage strikes. We know what happens when they don't collect garbage. So why am I being so silly? Come on, Rabbi Paltiel, talk about something meaningful. This is meaningful. The very fact that there's a civilization, is an order, and that, like I said before, you may not like the particular person sitting in the Gracie Mansion or in the White House. Garbage collection is not going to change whether so-and-so is the mayor, or so-and-so is the mayor, and so-and-so is the mayor. As long as the civilization in which we live goes, the leadership, whatever the leadership thinks, has a little bit to do with the direction of the civilization. But the vast majority, what happens, is eingestellt, why is it? It's how it was yesterday, and it was the day before, and the day before. Why does it hold? It's a nes min hashamayim. You go to a different country in the world, it's a churban. They try one government, and a second government, and a third government, and the garbage does not get collected. The streets don't get paved. People don't have work. What, we're smarter than them, we're better than them? If they see b'shoino meshuna, which we'll never understand, the Eibishter decided that dort soll sein hazeh, or dort soll sein anders. Over here it should be like this, over there should be different. Why? I don't know. I've told the story to you before. There's a young man named Chaim Klein. Chaim Klein is a sheikhet, in South Africa. So Achei Temimim, recently his brother was mefarsem a ma'aseh pele, which somebody confirmed. Someone went back to the source. This Chaim Klein is a sheikhet. And one day he was shechting, and a bull kicked him in the chalaf, and it slashed his finger, his thumb, on his shchita hand, which meant that he lost his ligaments, he lost his nerves, he's finished, he's handicapped, he'll never shecht again. And he lost a lot of blood, he was very, very weak, and on top of that, he lost his panos. His brother was then being mishamish the rebbe. This was 1993, Nun Gimel, Menachemov, the year, one of the time, during the tkufa of the rebbe's illness. So his brother used to do a shift from 9 to 4, I think, 9 at night to 4 in the morning. So in the evenings he took a nap, he would get up, he'd go to the mikveh, and then he would come to the rebbe, and of course he had to stay awake. He comes home from the mikveh, and his wife says, you have to call your sister-in-law hysterical. So they called the sister-in-law, and she's so emotional, she cannot talk. And when she finally calms down, she says he lost a lot of blood, so his life is in danger. And they've tried to stitch him up in the hospital, which was near the Shechita place. And then they had to transport him to Johannesburg, where they hoped there would be better surgeons who could do better work, but the doctors are saying that the likelihood of moving his fingers and his hand and his thumb are almost nothing. And his brother sends a message to his wife that he should approach the Rebbe and mention to the Rebbe, Achei Slanu Beveis HaMalkas. He was then mamish mishamish the Rebbe. In other words, Rebbe, I need a favor because we're close, kind of. Anyway, he says around midnight, 20 minutes to midnight, he went over to the Rebbe and he asked the Rebbe if he can ask the Rebbe something. Now he tells the story in very, very, very poignant detail. And I have it on my computer, but it's such a small type. I can't read it to you. But the teichen is, he crouches down. He says, "My brother is a shaykhit, and in South Africa they don't have the box like they have over here. They push it goyim, hold the bull down. The bull kicked him, and the Rebbe says, "Mach mit hand," like this, with his left hand. So he says, "Rebbe, my brother, his hand has been severely cut. He lost his parnasa. He lost a lot of blood." The Rebbe macht noch mit hand. If it's ein gesund, he'll be well, and he starts crying. He starts crying, the Rebbe starts to smile. And he sort of repeats the question several times. And the Rebbe is like laughing and telling him, it's garnished, nothing, garnished, it's nothing, don't worry about it, it's nothing. Until he's convinced. Now, I'm giving you the spirit of the story, but he tells the story blow by blow, each step of how he gets more emotional, how the Rebbe is laughing louder, more. Macht mit den Hand. The Rebbe could not speak. But he could say yeah and nein, and the Rebbe tells him, is it garnished? It's garnished. If it's ein gesund, yeah. If it kann schechten, yeah. So the yeah and the no and the laugh is contrasted by his emotions. At the very same moment, this is 20 minutes to 12 in New York, apparently 20 minutes to 5 in South Africa, he wakes up Chaim with excruciating pain. Not like they're schreien in his hand. The pain lasts a short time, and then it stops, and he can move his thumb. He can move his thumb. Meise shehoye kach hoye sa emes en meise was nicht ken nes am lobes beteve das nes was es mal mat pille ployem hafle of fella teich kedei dibur. Anyway, this is a hagdoma to the meise. I wanted to tell you that Chaim Klein was a shliach in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is directly above South Africa. Zimbabwe has some Jews. Zimbabwe right now is one of the worst countries in the world. Its economy is in the red. Its leaders are total mishuganer. He's thrown away all of the middle class, the Europeans who were the business class, the regular nationalist garbage, but he's a dictator, he's a brute, he's an animal. And he had to leave Zimbabwe because it was such dangerous. And he wrote to the Rebbe that the Rebbe gave a bracha for South Africa, and the Rebbe said repeatedly that South Africa is a safe place for Jewish people until Mashiach comes. Perhaps the Rebbe could bless Zimbabwe. That Zimbabwe should also be a safe place for Jews until Mashiach comes. And the answer that he gets back was, I said South Africa is a safe place for Jews until Mashiach comes. That perhaps the Rebbe could also bless that in Zimbabwe it will be a safe place for Jews until Mashiach comes. And the answer he gets back again is, I said that South Africa is to be a safe place for Yid until Mashiach comes. Now, why? Why does the Rebbe care Zimbabwe show this? If we knew those things, our heads would fall off. This is Reb's Gezach. It's all Ruchnis, it's all Dvarim Nailim, Nizgovim. But the Mtzias is Azoi. And when as the Mishnah said, you live in a civilization where things are more or less normal, you're witnessing Nisim b'chol yem v'yem mamish, b'chol rega v'rega mamish, and the kind of miracles that nobody's makes him live. Nobody thinks about the fact that there's order in a society. And it's good from time to time to do that as bonus. And this morning I did that as bonus, so now, by default, you have to do that as bonus. So I was walking to you, I was thinking to myself, have you look at the world? Honestly, either you say, this world is falling to pieces. Why? Every individual is falling to pieces. How many people have it together? 1 out of 100. Everyone's falling apart. But everyone walks in the street like everything's good. Okay, this is the problem. I know how miserable my life is. I look at the next guy, he's good. Look how good he looks. Everybody is exactly where I am. We're all wearing our masks. So what's the truth? So you say, the mask is bluff. Nay, the mask is the Eibishter. The mask is the Eibishter holding us all together. And that's the truth. We have hardships. But the Eibishter halt uns. Ich habe mal gehört in the Namen von Reb Zalman Hechtel Vashom. Baruch Gezer Kayim. Baruch Gezer Kayim means the Eibishter makes decrees and he fulfills them. So Reb Hechtel Getayich, Baruch Gezer, the Eibishter schneit, the Eibishter gives challenges. But he keeps us from falling to pieces. The Eibishter runs the world, but He keeps it. He keeps the world. The Eibishter holds each one of us. The Eibishter holds our families. The Eibishter holds our communities. The Eibishter holds our cities and our states and our countries and His world. He holds it together. He embraces it. And if you pay attention and you look at every piece and you see how vulnerable, how precarious, how unsure it is, and yet more or less it stays together. That staying together is the Eibishter's bracha. And it's good to pay attention to that. So that was my lecture for Monday morning, Chafal of Tevis.